Hi, I think I'm live now and just checking if you can post up um, or give me a wee wave, just let me know that you're there. That'll be great. So I'm on today. My name is Sharon McNulty and I'm on today to explain how you can declutter and organise your home using the Konmari method of tidying up. I suppose we're at home nowadays and we're surrounded by quite a wee bit of clutter, and we're wondering where to even start with it. So I would love to be able to tell you, thank you Sinead, thank you Angela, I'd love to be able to tell you how to get started. I'm wondering, does this sound familiar? Does anybody rebuy what you already have? Hi Christina. You see, I'm going to be back and forth. Anybody rebuy what you already have? Do you spend precious time searching for items every day? And you know there's somewhere you just can't put your hand in it. Anybody have any boxes in the attic and you haven't a clue what's in them? They've probably come from the last couple of house moves, and you know you're going to get them sorted at some stage, just not yet. Squeezing clothes into the wardrobe, anybody? I definitely would have been guilty of this. I was squeezing my clothes into the wardrobe in the drawers, and yet whenever I was going out, I had nothing to wear. And I had always got a junk drawer, and this junk drawer contained everything, absolutely everything, and there was cables, cords, things I hadn't a clue what it belonged to, but I couldn't throw it out because I didn't know what it belonged to. So hi Nolan, if any of this resonates with you, I'm going to introduce you to a new way of tidying, and this tidying will change your life. I know it's a big statement, but it really will change the way you live. You'll only ever have to do it once. If you do it in its entirety, and it need never be repeated. So I completed my own Konmari journey several years ago. I had 3 small children, busy working mummy, and I spent my weekends tidying. Whenever I'd get it tidied, the kids would come along behind me, or I say it was the kids, it possibly wasn't, but it was wrecked within no time. So there was a rebound, that's what we would call rebound. And I thought, right, there has to be more to life than this, because I seemed to spend my time tidying. I was quite a neat person, but that was because I spent my whole time tidying. My worktops, on the surface, everything looked quite good. However, my cupboards were full. I had just too much stuff. So I completed my own Konmari journey at that stage, and as a result of that, everything in my home now sparks joy. I love everything in my home. It's easy to keep tidy, and every item I love now has a place. It's forever home. So whenever I finish using that, I put that back. And I suppose the bonus as well is my spending habits have changed. I don't panic buy, or I don't get caught up in a bargain. I only buy something now if I truly love it. So that's a win. And that is a big change for me. I absolutely loved a bargain. So I was the one who was getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go and stand in a queue for a sale. I thought I needed to be there for that sale. And I bought for the children for the whole year in that sale. And yet we didn't wear it all. We didn't use it all. I got caught up in the whole panic buying. So now I don't. I only bring it into my house if I absolutely love it. So that in itself has saved me a fortune. So I suppose about me, who am I? My name is Sharon McNulty. I am a professional home and business organiser and the founder of Serenity Sparks Joy. So I was trained by the best-selling author and Japanese tidying guru, Marie Kondo. You might have heard of Marie. She had a Netflix series out called Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. And if you haven't seen it yet, please watch it. It is brilliant. I think there's 8 episodes. So I'm a KonMari consultant. I went and got trained by her. and I've over 500 hours working one-to-one with clients. So that's both home clients and business clients. So I go into people's homes and I go into their businesses, and I help streamline them, organise them, and just really make it work for them. So the majority of my clients are from Northern Ireland. However, pre-COVID, I've supported clients. I've been in Beijing. I've done a couple of clients there, New Jersey, and I was due to go back there in July. I've been in Norway, due to go back to Norway again in July. So unfortunately, those two either will be virtual or I'll wait until after the restrictions are lifted. Wales, Strasbourg. So I have been across the globe really, but the majority of my clients are local to Northern Ireland. So I suppose, what will we cover today? I'd love to tell you how to organise and declutter your home using the Konmari Method. I'd love to tell you what it is, what difference it will make to your life, so why bother? And if you're interested, how to start it. So I think of about half an hour, and I'll try and keep an eye on the time, and I'll answer any questions or queries you have at the end. So type into the chat box and I'll have a wee look to see. However, if you want, you can email or message me afterwards. So I suppose I would ask you, and I do this with all my clients, to have a wee look. So stand back and have a look at your home or your office, wherever you are at the moment, and have a look with fresh eyes. So what are your eyes drawn towards? And do the contents spark a feeling of ease or of discontent? So does the space that you're in inspire you to relax or be productive if it's work? Or does it appear uninviting and chaotic? Are you feeling positive about it? Or are you thinking, oh, my heart's sinking? If your heart's sinking, tidying's worth having a go. It's simple, it's easy, and because it's so simple, it's effective, it works. So what is KonMari? Some people know exactly what it is, others have never heard of it. KonMari, and my clients would often say they've just too much stuff, and that resonated with me too. I had far too much stuff, and we don't normally know where to start in order to reduce the amount. So normally what we do is we tidy little by little, room by room. So that works for a day or so, but there's usually a rebound. The KonMari Method is a once only event, and I think I had said this to you at the start. If you do it correctly, you'll never need to repeat it. So you do it once in your entire lifetime, and that's why we call it a marathon. With KonMari, instead of tidying room by room, little by little, or cupboard by cupboard, we tidy in a specific order. So we start with your clothes, then we move on to your books, your paperwork or your office, your kimono, and your kimono really is your miscellaneous, so that's all your other items. And lastly, we would finish with sentimental. Now, the reason we finish with sentimental is if I asked you whether you wanted to keep or let go of something with great sentimental value, you will hold on to absolutely everything. So if you're trying to start with something that's very important to you, it's not going to be effective. And that's why we start with your clothes. The clothes will definitely get you honed with your spark joy. You'll then get an idea of what you love and what you don't. And there's very little emotional connection to that. The method lets us create order. We've all been tidying since we were knee-high. And I can say I didn't know how to tidy effectively. My tidying was moving things from one place to the other. And I know a lot of people would say that. And it was just the way it was. That's how I was taught. That's how my mother was taught. But what we're finding now is if we use this method, we hold on to what we absolutely love. So we're surrounding ourselves with everything that we love. We want to keep, we want to look after it, and we want to put it back whenever we're finished. This actually works really well with children too, by the way. You imagine everything that they love, they're going to look after. So, so from children the age of 3 will get this beautifully, beautifully. So clients would start their journey just because their homes or businesses aren't working for them. They were afraid of starting the process, maybe because they were nervous about having to let go of their belongings. However, Konmari is actually about keeping what you love. So instead of thinking what you're going to discard, Konmari is thinking about holding on to what you absolutely love. So those items, you're surrounding yourself with items you love. So it's placing a different emphasis on joy. So it's not about having a perfect house. It's absolutely not. It's not about having a house like a catalogue. I don't think any of us want that. It's about loving those things that make you happy and creating a serene home. So that's actually where my title came in, Serenity Sparks Joy, because that was part of my ideal vision. I wanted serenity within the home. So with Konmari, we tidy in one go as quickly and completely as possible. And we discard first. And the reason I say that is if you start to store your clothes, just organise them without letting some of them go, you're going to rebound. It's guaranteed. So you have to let go of items first and then store. So don't buy any storage at this stage. You're going to buy your storage only whenever you're finished. So you're going to use temporary storage in the meantime. And once your journey is complete then. So clutter, how it affects us, I know whenever my home was cluttered, and as I say, I've gone through this myself, my mind was cluttered. So it would affect the decisions I would make, it would affect my mood. You know, if you look around and you're seeing clutter, chaos all around you, your heart sinks. Now I don't have that, and I have to say I have exactly what I wanted, a serene home and a home that's a pleasure to come into. So clutter too with children, we're finding children don't react well to clutter. Think of, I suppose, toy rooms, and I suppose we've all been there. You look in and it's chaos. Children in those circumstances tend not to concentrate well on their toys. If you put a bit of order into it, it definitely helps them concentrate and play longer with each item. So, and I suppose you'd be thinking, well, how do I get them started? Yeah, what I would suggest you do is start children the exact same way you're going to do it, with their clothes, with their books, with their papers, kimono, and then their toys or their sentimental. So what's the right amount of items? It's different. Okay. What's right for you won't be right for me, and some people want a minimal look, some people want a busy look, and the majority of us just settle in the middle. So it's up to yourself. All I would say is you surround yourself with those things you absolutely love, and you've got it. You've absolutely got it. So with Konmari, there are 6 rules of tidying. First one, if you're still listening, you've got it. You commit to tidying up. So you're interested in tidying up and you're ready. Second one, imagine your ideal lifestyle. So you have to visualize your ideal home. Why you want to live like this, why you want to tidy. Okay, then as I mentioned before, you want to discard. So don't be starting to store before you discard. You tidy by category, as I've previously said. Follow and do follow the order because it works. And then ask yourself if it sparks joy. So they're the 6 rules to tidying up. Very simple, and the simplicity of this is why it works, because it's not far-fetched. So whenever you're visualizing your ideal home, what I would say is don't skip this bit. This is actually very important because the Konmari journey is called a marathon, Konmari Marathon. It's really difficult in the middle. So you can imagine you're taking everything out to organise it before you put it back again. That can be really tough. And that's where a lot of people say, no, I've had it. I'm just going to put it back any old way. Don't. Visualise your ideal home, your why, and then this will help you then get to your final point, where you want to go. So it'll keep you motivated. If you skip the step, it'll delay it and put you at much higher risk of rebound. So you can use Pinterest, a vision board, whatever you want. Just think about, so don't just think about, I don't want a cluttered home. Think more deeply than that. Why you don't, what sort of lifestyle you want, what you want to do. So after having my Konmari journey completed, I took up walking. I could actually go out and walk. Before that, I always felt guilty because I knew that my home needed decluttered. So I then joined a walking club. I had a great time, and the time that I would have been spending decluttering, tidying, I went out to walk. So it definitely freed my time up. So there are 3 things you should keep. I talk about spark joy, and for that, a lot of people don't know what that is. But that's those things that spark joy for you personally. So that's your favourite pen, your photograph, your notebook, whatever it should be. You should also keep things that are functional, that you use frequently. So your Hoover isn't going to spark joy for you, but having a clean, tidy floor will. So your Hoover, your stapler, anything like that that streamlines your home or your business. And the 3rd thing you'll need to keep are those that will lead to future joy. So the receipts will not spark joy, but you need them to get reimbursed, and that will spark joy for you. So don't forget to follow your corporate standards and your tax, the length of time tax laws, that you have to keep everything, regardless of whether they spark joy or not. So what is spark joy? Spark joy, I would say, if you gather 3 items around your house that spark joy, so that you're picking them as though you're identifying items you love from a display in a shop. So think about those items. Whenever you physically hold or touch an item, does it light you up? So it might prompt a special memory, it might make you happy whenever you see it or touch it. Or it could be that item that streamlines your day, that makes your day much easier. And if you still are having difficulty with that concept, ask yourself whenever you're holding that item, would you buy it again today? If it got ruined, would you spend your time, your energy and your money replacing it? And how do you feel, say if it's an item of clothing, how do you feel whenever you wear it? Are you excited to wear it again? So that's how you will know what sparks joy for you. I would say hold those 3 items in front of you whenever you're going through your categories, because you want the rest of your belongings to give you that same feeling. How do you get started? So you're going to go through each of the 5 categories sequentially, and you're going to start with your clothes. As I say, it's the easiest category to get that spark joy concept. You're then going to complete your books, your papers, your miscellaneous, your kimono, and that's all your stationery, kitchenware, food, toiletries, all of that. And finally, your sentimental. And with the sentimental will be your photographs. I would advise you to complete all 5 categories to ensure that it lasts. If it doesn't, you will definitely rebound, and you don't want to go through all this just to have it back as bad as ever. So with your clothes, I'll talk you through the clothes, how you get started with it, and then you'll have a bit of an idea then what to do for the others. I would say gather every item of clothing that you have from all around the house. So you go to the laundry, you go to your basement, the car boot from the holiday home, although that'll be hard now, and from every wardrobe in the house. So you might have coats downstairs, you might have coats at the back door in the hall, wherever you have coats, you bring all together. You're going to place them all together on your bed, and this is what we call the clothes mountain. So as you're putting those clothes onto your bed, I actually subcategorize them at this stage. So I put all my tops together, all the trousers together, all the coats together, and then you go through one by one, deciding, take them individually, one by one, deciding which sparks joy for you, which ones you absolutely love. If it doesn't spark joy, thank it and let it go. So you can either discard, if it's old and worn, you can throw it out. You can donate, that's either to charity or to somebody that you know that would love it. Now be very careful. Don't salve your guilt by giving it to your sister or your mother or your cousin because it's something expensive. If you do that, you're only putting it onto them. Give it to them surely if you know that they love it so much they would actually buy it. You could sell it. I know one of my clients actually got over £1,300 selling her items, and there's a list of areas on the internet that you can do this, and or you can repurpose it. So you can use your socks for dusting, whatever you want to do. So you can have different categories, and then once this is all over, then you can move them on. So take this opportunity now to give your wardrobe and drawers a quick clean now that they're empty. So those items that you're going to keep, what are you going to do with them? Generally, I used to hang everything up, and I thought that was the only way really to do it. Marie Kondo recommends folding as the main storage method. Now, I thought you can't really fold jeans. You can fold jeans beautifully, and in fact, they do lovely folded. So it takes up less space than hanging, and when you fold using the Konmari Method, it's actually very therapeutic. Now, I'm sure anybody who's in the middle of doing laundry at the minute will say, not a hope. I didn't like doing laundry, but I find it very therapeutic, because what you're actually doing is you're smoothing out your clothes. You're folding them in a specific way. Whenever they're folded properly, they'll have a sweet spot where they can stand up, and you put them into your drawer. I should have actually brought something to show you. You put them into your drawer where you can see absolutely every item, and it almost like the ends of a book. If you use shelves or have no drawers, you can use boxes or baskets for storage. And if you're interested in folding it, if I have videos on Instagram, I have them somewhere on Facebook, I'm not sure, but I have them on Instagram, Serenity Sparks Joy, under my highlights. And you can keep watching them over and over until you get them. This works, absolutely works beautifully. So the only thing I would say you don't fold is clothes that flutter in the breeze. Anything that's prone to creasing or looks happier whenever it's hanging up. So that would be your heavy coats, your wool coats, all of that. And whenever you're hanging them as well, what we would say is hang with the longest and the darkest colours to the left, and have them rising to the right. So just whenever you open your wardrobe, it looks beautiful. Now, I know it's not all about the aesthetics, but whenever you're surrounding yourself with joy, it does make a difference. Life's busy. At least whenever you're looking into your wardrobe, you might as well see what you love. A lot of my clients actually who have maybe been a couple of different sizes, who are on their weight loss journey and have maybe 3 or 4 sizes, would say there's nothing they love at the minute, nothing that fits them at the minute. What are they going to do? It doesn't matter. All you're still doing is you're going to hold on to those items that you love. So you're going through all your items as though they all fit you at the moment, and then you're going to subcategorize them, the ones that you're into at the moment and the ones in each size that you're hoping to get to. So, okay, you might have ended up with very little now that fit you, and that's okay. You can then from here on in only buy what you absolutely love. So, I mean, you have to keep something in your wardrobe. Even though it doesn't all spark joy at the moment, hold on to enough to keep you going at the moment, and only from now on buy what you absolutely love. So, so that's the clothes. You will then continue with your books, your papers, your miscellaneous, and your sentimental in the same way. And as you complete each category, you give each a temporary home. So once you're finished with the item, you return it to this place, and that's actually why it works. That's why it works beautifully. You're putting it back where you got it. At the end of all the categories, you'll then know what storage you have and what you need, and it's only at this stage that I would say to allocate permanent storage. I have seen myself going into clients' homes, and we take one last session where we rearrange things that work better for the client at that stage. So don't be buying any storage at the start thinking that you need it. We then repurpose what they don't need. So suppose to recap, KonMari is a way of decluttering and organising. You'll only ever have to do it once. It will streamline your home and your business so you know what you have, where it is, and it'll be easy to keep tidy. So I suppose your family and your employees will come on board once they see the changes to your space. That is something I often hear. I'm tidy, but it's my partner, it's the dog, it's the children that keep the house messy. So there's no use in me trying. And I get you, I so understand what you're saying. What I would say is you start with yours, and without fail, they will come on board. Whenever they see, you'll not have to say anything. Whenever they see the difference that it makes to you, even how you feel, how you act, how your spaces are, they will want a bit of that. So they'll then come to you. Generally what I do is I work with my client first of all, and then I support the rest of the family through it, and we find that works well. Some clients, however, have then got it, and they can help their own family themselves. Another thing I do here is I've tidied one room, and by the time I turn around, the children have it upside down. So why would I even start? I get this as well. I had 3 children, and they could undo what I had done in half the time it took me to tidy it. What I would say is children love order. Again, you do your bit, and guaranteed they will do theirs. I work with, the youngest I would work with is 3 years of age. And even at that stage, I show them how to fold, how to tidy, how to put away. And if you remember, they're absolutely loving all their items. They're going to look after it. They're going to put it away. And then by the time we've got to their toys, they'll have honed their own spark joy at that stage. So that's just, I've only a short length of time. I'm very aware. I've only a couple of minutes left. If you want further support, reach out to me. There's no problem. I do virtual one-to-ones. I do virtual workshops. So if you have a business and you want your employees to do it maybe in the office or at home, I can do that, no problem. I have a Facebook and an Instagram account. I'm not great. I'm really not great on social media, but I try to keep a bit on there, or a website. So it's Serenity Sparks Joy, and you're more than welcome to contact me. So if you have any questions, ask away now. We have another couple of minutes. If not, give me a shout. Surely, once the restrictions have been lifted, I can go back into businesses. A lot of my businesses I have taken on virtually. A couple I will then complete once the restrictions are lifted. So I'm looking forward to that. So listen, shout if there's anything at all, and I'm more than welcome, more than happy to give you a wee hand or a nudge in the right direction. But thank you so much. I do appreciate you now taking the time to watch. And I'd love to see, don't forget, actually put some before, and take some before photographs, because you completely forget what it was like beforehand. So I would always encourage my clients to take before photographs, even if they don't end up posting them or doing anything with it. It's absolutely brilliant to see it whenever they're taken thereafter. So thanks a million for watching, and have a lovely day.